Hey, I'm Demi, and you're listening to Local Chaos.
She's gonna hold you like she loves you. She's gonna tell you all the things that you always wanted to hear. But if you turn your back for a minute, she'll find a new man and she will disappear. She's a soul breaker. I'm talking about an evil woman.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Local Chaos. I'm Demi. I'm so happy to be hosting another show. And what you just heard was one of my favorite bands, Arbor Creek, with their song Soul Breaker. And if you guys didn't know, if you weren't listening last week, we got a surprise for you. We got Arbor Creek in the house. How are you guys?
Pretty good.
We're good, thanks.
Doing great.
That sounds amazing. So I'm really excited. I've been a fan of you guys for a while, and it's really surreal that I get to meet you all in person and talk about your music, and I just want to thank you for being here. It's an honor that you guys can make it out. So thank you. So if you guys can introduce yourselves, give me your band position, and a fun fact about yourself. It's hard.
Jared Beebe. I play keyboards and run the band Circus.
What's your fun fact?
Larry Keith Huff III. I'm the guitar player.
Mustache.
Yeah, I got a nice mustache.
You really do.
Fun fact. I'm Frank Dvorak. I play the drums, and I can crush a whole can of beer with one hand.
It's debatable.
Talent. Real talent. I mean, I thought you were an amazing drummer, but that is mind-blowing. All right, so with you guys, I'm curious. How did you get to know each other? How did the band start?
Well, Alex, who's not here, is the bass player, and this is Larry speaking right now. We're actually cousins, and I've been playing with him since I was 12, so over 10 years. And the other guys, they met in high school, and we all kind of got together pretty much through school and just like through all living in like the Plainfield area. And then we met Frank, the drummer, most recently through my great aunt, Alex's grandmother's neighbor's son is Frank, our drummer's best friend.
Crazy story.
But yeah, so that's pretty much how that happened.
I'm like, really? I would die for my brother. I fight the devil with my own two hands. I said I would die for my brothers. I walk for miles across this land.
That was one of my favorites off of their self-titled album, Creek Blues. I'm really interested in hearing about how you created this album, the writing process, the recording process. I'm really curious about the intro of Creek Blues. Tell me a little bit all about that. All right.
Yeah, so if you're listening closely at the beginning of the song, you hear Frank behind the drum set. He goes, the words, "I'm like really." Basically, our friend, great friend, he's kind of an old wizard, Randy Minahan.
The legendary.
Yeah. Well, we went on a fishing trip with Randy, and he pretty much just said that every other word that came out of his mouth, he asked, I'm like, really? Yeah, I guess that's all he would say. But so it was after that weekend, we went to the studio that week, and kind of became a phrase among us as well. And
I'm surprised you didn't.
in the heat of the moment, Frank asked, well, I guess he didn't ask, he told us. But yeah. So you want to tell us how you felt?
I felt good. It just it was something I had to say. I had to get it out of me before I recorded the song, personally.
It's like the 1, 2, 3. Wait. We're done 4 already, and we're going steady. And then they went 1, 2. It's like one of the. It's like it shows how realistic it is when they talk before a song and it's recorded, it's in the recording, or they say something like funny, or they just like whistle, or like they count down. Like I love that because it really connects the listener with the performer, with the musician on another level. It's like they're there in the studio, and I love that you included that. That's hilarious. So what studio were you guys at actually?
We recorded that at the University of St. Francis in Joliet with my friend Matt Morgan, who's in a band called Chout. Check them out. They're a pretty decent band with a bunch of buddies from my high school that are another local band.
Homegrown.
But Matt was one of my good friends for a long time, and he kind of helped produce Matt Morgan. And we've been friends since I was like 6 years old, and we played in bands all throughout high school together. And then now, we were all friends, and I, gave him a call. I was like, yo, if you're at St. Francis, we should, we're trying to put out an album. And he's like, yeah, man, come on in anytime. And yeah, we worked on it together, and he kind of helped us out in the studio over at St. Francis, and it was a good time and great experience.
So before you got to the recording studio, before all of that fun stuff, how did you write this album? Like with all of your work, how does it come together like it does?
It's usually one person will have an idea and kind of write out the whole structure. That seems to be our best songs, at least. Somebody has the whole idea already conceived, and then bring it to the table, and then we all kind of add our own little touches to it. But the story's written, and then we just kind of add in our stuff onto it. Yeah, it's like a pizza. It's like a pizza.
Yeah.
Someone comes with the dough, and somebody else comes with the cheese.
Like a soup.
We got sausage.
Gumbo.
I'm the only one in the band that's not Italian, so I don't like to think about it like a pizza, but these guys do, so it's all right.
Goulash.
Like a goulash, yeah, there you go. So
Yeah, like a pizza. Noted. When I'm writing songs, I'm gonna think of Arbor Creek's their their style, how they go about it, all the oregano, all the parmesan. Speaking of food, what do you guys? I'm starving. Well, what do you guys do to bond? Like, you guys go out to eat. You guys have
Beats in the summertime. There you go. This is a grill master.
So you smoke.
Yeah, this is the grill master speaking. Pretty much in our free time, we just cook epic meals of epic proportions. We have pig roasts. We smoke turkeys, chickens, hams, ribs, briskets. We make pretty much.
Pizza.
We've had fish fries. We make homemade pizzas. We've done it all. We spend a lot of our time pretty much eating and talking about food when we're not playing music. I would say that's about pretty much mainly what we do, like outside of being in the band. And fish. Personally, I like to fish a lot.
So the real question, I know all of us listening really like your music, but we want to know when the cookbook's coming out. We're ready for it. Back to your self-titled album, I hear a lot of influences from you guys, from like Pink Floyd, Zeppelin. I mean, so many people, and I'm really, I'm really curious, like, to know what musicians, what artists really influence you guys as individually, as in your own instruments, and the overall sound of the band.
Well, we all kind of agree that Led Zeppelin is ultimately our favorite band together, but we all have our own, flavors and likes, stuff we like. I like progressive music a lot, like Yes, King Crimson, Pink Floyd.
You're into classical too?
Yeah, I do. I don't, I try, but I like classical music a lot, yeah. Preferably Bach is my favorite composer. Yeah.
Can't go wrong with Bach.
Oh, yeah. Led Zeppelin is definitely my favorite band.
Yeah.
Jimmy Page is probably my favorite guitar player, but I listen to a lot of Frank Zappa. I listen to a lot of old blues, play a lot of Buddy Guy. I get into a lot of bluegrass, too, and I like Tony Rice and Doc Watson. But recently I've been listening to a lot of Steve Howe from Yes, and I like to listen to a little bit of everything, but just mainly all different kind of guitar, all different styles. But that's pretty much what I've been listening to in, like, most recently, I guess.
I like Zeppelin, obviously. I like My Morning Jacket a lot. Their drum is pretty good. I like Steve Jordan. Steve Jordan's a pretty big influence on like pocket drumming and stuff like that. I don't like the Grateful Dead, personally. But Yeah, I don't know. It's just I like prog music a lot. Rush. David loves the Grateful Dead. It's one of his favorite bands.
Allman Brothers.
Allman Brothers is a big deal.
Influence on the band.
Yeah,
The band.
the band in general. Yeah, personally, I like them too. Levon Helm.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I mean, there's a lot more. You know, it's just a long list. But
So with that, you guys have so many different artists that you like look up to and like playing. So how do you guys go about picking covers that when you guys do covers? 'Cause I know you guys did a whole Pink Floyd, like you tackled one of their albums, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, Wish You Were Here. And then you guys do like you guys did the Ain't No Sunshine. Who's that by again? Bill Withers. So you guys have a big variety. So how do you go about picking your covers and really making your set list? Like when you go into a show, like how do you sit down and you write it out, or is there arguing involved?
yeah, well, we have a kind of a chronic problem of just suggesting covers all the time. Like literally all the time, every day, at least once a day, somebody will send me a text or a message and say, "Hey, we should cover this, we should cover that." And you know, when we find one that we all agree on, we usually. But we like to mix songs together a lot. Like we play Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers, and then we kind of mixed it up with Whipping Post by the Allman Brothers. And we recently put out a video of us doing Bell Bottom Blues from Derek and the Dominoes, going into the Little Wing by Derek and the Dominoes. It's a Jimi Hendrix song, but their version of it. Yeah. And then we go into Time by Pink Floyd. That's like we like doing that, cover medleys, mixing them up.
That's awesome.
It's fun, yeah.
Yeah, when we're making set lists, it usually just depends on how long we're playing and where we're playing, and just kind of reading the audience that we're playing in front of. Because we usually make one before the show, but sometimes depending on the situation or where we're at, or someone's yelling that we should play this or do that, we could change it on the fly and just kind of just go with it. Yeah, like last week we did reggae for our first time, and we did Stir It Up from Bob Marley just because some guy was like, "Yo, play reggae." And we're just like, "All right, we'll see what we can do." But yeah, so we just kind of figured it out that way, and you know, usually it's pretty set in stone about what we're gonna do, and we have like cues as a band too, like in a live set, just off of like eye contact and things like that. And if like we're gonna go into a song, we'll kind of have an idea of what songs to follow, just because we know our own music and our covers so well just by playing with each other all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we jam a lot. Personally, I think that's a good way to practice, and we get ideas from there for shows. And you know, it's just really playing together all the time. Usually the set list we write on the way to the show. I mean, sometimes we just go off the cuff, and we just do whatever.
And I think the fact that you guys can really just do it, like, I mean, it takes a lot of skill and a lot of you know, being a band for so long, a couple years now, I feel like that, I'm sure, helped get you guys in each other's minds in a way. Like, you guys know what you're about to do. Like, you guys really are like almost like the same person when you're on stage. Yeah, it's a sixth sense. And when like I see you guys live, it's so cool because the chemistry, I feel like, is, and the musicianship is what makes it for me. Like, I mean, I love obviously your music, but I mean, I'm just having a good time because I know you are having a good time. You radiate this lovely, this energy, this positive energy. You're just doing what you love, and yeah, just having a good time. And I'm sure you guys have had a lot of good times playing so many shows. Is there any stories of any shows that come to mind that were just wild in a way? Anything that, any funny stories, anything that stands out?
We played a show, our first show on our first tour at a place called Be Here Now. Really cool venue in Muncie, Indiana. And we just kind of walked out in the backyard, and there was a woman with her shirt off, and that was interesting. It was the first time I saw that at a show. So, yeah, fateful day.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun stories. Some of them
Some are bad.
Some of them we probably shouldn't be talking about, so I'm just not gonna talk about them. But we have fun when we play, and we enjoy our time. And usually they go really smooth. Sometimes we don't even perform when we show up to go to some places. Recently, we had a show over this past summer, or we were going to have a show, and we show up to this place and nobody really knew what was going on, and we ended up just hanging out for the rest of the night. And people were coming up to us talking about, "Oh, you guys hearing these bands or anything about these bands, and they didn't even know what was going on. We never even performed. So we never even performed the show. It was still a fun time though, just getting together, whatever. But other than that situation, usually the shows go pretty smooth and everything really works out.
Yeah, we have a good time wherever we go, whenever we're with each other. So
Yeah.
even if it's a bad time, we still make the best of it.
Yeah.
Just so we don't have a bad time, because that's not
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and even we're always laughing and just hanging out anyway, so it's all good, usually all the time. So yeah.
So I know when you're in a band, because I am in a band, I know there's like this dynamic and kind of roles. So I'm just curious of who's like the dad in the band. Larry.
I would say everyone pretty much has a different role on a different night. Some nights, some people are taking care of other people. Other nights, people are taking care of other people. Some nights there's fights. Some nights there's not. But usually we all pretty much have a general mindset of how to act when we have a show, and how to act when we don't have a show, and we try to stay professional but still have fun, and it usually works out. There really isn't like a watcher like in the band. We all kind of take shifts, I guess.
It's a hive mind.
Yeah, I was just curious because like you guys have very different, unique personalities, and I wanted to see how, when you're in a band, how you come together, how those blend.
The different personalities will come out in a live show too, like when we're playing like on the spot music live, like depending on the song or depending on who's kind of like there is leadership in that way, like not behind the scenes, but like actually on the stage, depending on who's doing what in the song, or if there's kind of a spotlight moment on an individual person in the set or in the song, where someone's taking the lead moment in the song, and we'll kind of be behind that person if it's me or David or Jared or even Frank or Al. But other than that, that's pretty much the only leadership there, is just watching out for each other and just knowing when everyone has their time to be the leader in what's happening in the music. You know what I'm saying?
Just follow the leader.
Yeah.
And that is very important, and really in a band, in like a workplace, you guys have a good balance.
You be something bigger than yourself.
Rather than you're just like playing for yourself, you're playing as a team. Like really, because I know a lot of musicians kind of struggle with that in bands, and it takes a while for them to realize, okay, like, yes, your performance matters, but like, what is the overall performance? Yes, a slice of the whole pie.
Eastward we go, through rain and through snow, to new land.
So this song has a music video, and I'm very intrigued to know about the process, who did it, because it's pretty awesome, guys. You gotta check it out.
So, man named Danny Gonzalez helped us a great deal with that. But I basically just kind of drew a bunch of pictures and like the animated part, and he kind of turned it into a time-lapse thing. Yeah, moving pictures. Yeah. So, yeah, he did a really good job. I'm very satisfied with his work.
Tell me about the story of it, like in the song itself, like the meaning, because I know I was talking to you guys about this before. It's one of those songs that it makes you feel strong, it makes you feel empowered. So tell me about the message behind the song and the video.
Yeah, it's basically about ancient history.
Yeah.
Yeah, fall of the Roman Empire.
How about you guys? What have you taken from this song, performing this song, or really any of the songs out on this album? How do they make you feel? Do you have any favorites?
Well, the song itself, the actual music, we've been sitting on for some time before we even, put all the words and all the pieces to the puzzle together. Like, a lot of ideas that we have, are just ideas at first that grow into songs, but we've been playing Danube Trail for actually quite some time before we even had a name for it or lyrics to it. All the music was already there, like blueprinted. So we have been playing that one for a long time. But my personal favorite song you're talking about on the album, it would be I don't know. I'm proud of all of them. I like all of them. I think they're all their own like idea in its own right. but I like to play the song Into the Hollow. Is probably one of my favorite ones to play on the album.
I like playing the same. Yeah, Into the Hollow. Autumn is really good. It's like a real different song than from what we usually have played before, so it feels good to play it. Yeah, Nimbus. Nimbus is like a hard, I think of it as like a heavy funk jam personally. But I mean, all the songs are great. I like them for their own individual reasons and different parts that I like 'em from the vocals or the guitar parts or solos and whatnot. So yeah.
I think what makes you guys very unique to me is I feel like there's this overall theme in your music of nature, if that makes sense. Like I know songs like Bird Song and like Autumn, and just it's like an appreciative theme that really you look at nature and like the beauty in it, the sadness in it, the danger in it. And I don't know if that is true. If you guys, I mean, you guys are Arbor Creek, that is the name is from your street.
Yeah.
Give me a little bit info about that.
There's a neighborhood in Plainfield. That's where my mom's house was. She lived there from when we originally started the band. I was the drummer at the time, and yeah, just Arbor Creek. I don't know. We just came up with it. We kind of wish we could change the name sometimes, but other times it's just it's too late for that. So
Yeah, I think that it's like maybe nature, yeah, but just I feel the landscapes and more like just ideas like of whole. It's hard to explain, like a whole picture.
A whole world.
It's a whole picture. Every song tries to be like a whole picture, not necessarily like it is about nature per se, like based, but there's different. It's not all different things in nature. It's like a little. I don't want to say industrial, but it's a little bit of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We try to mix it all together in different types of feels and different kinds of colors. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to explain.
I'm very curious to know, what are your goals? What are your future aspirations and your dreams? Where do you want to take Arbor Creek?
world domination.
Pretty much just keep doing what we're doing and just seeing more progress. I mean, we've been seeing progress this far, and if it just keeps going according to plan, it'll just keep growing.
Definitely want to release another album. Go on a tour in the fall potentially. I mean, it would be sick to like tour with an already big touring band, like as an opener.
Yeah, link up with other musicians and other bands that we share like the similar genres with.
Yeah,
and
Marcus King Band.
And start to create kind of a scene, because where we can get a bunch of bands that are all like trying to do the same, like with the same idea, and get everybody together to create something, something new.
Yeah, Marcus King Band. I don't think he's listening right now. He's touring Europe right now. Wish him luck. But yeah, very phenomenal guitar player. Definitely influenced by him and his band. And we would imagine them probably to be the ideal act to tour with right now. Them and probably My Morning Jacket.
With that, I know like us musicians, we're always developing and getting better, and I know when we see other musicians perform, it's a learning experience. So tell me a little bit what you got out of that show. Other like instances, like how about when you play with other local musicians, particularly?
There's a band called Lunar Ticks. Very, very incredible musicians. We've played with them a few times, and we kind of have an understanding between us, a mutual competition kind of thing, but it's all friendly and good fun. So, but yeah, they're phenomenal musicians. They are definitely on that list.
I would say what I like to take away from a band, or like what impresses me in a show, is just the creativity in a band and how well bands work with each other and how well the musicianship is amongst everybody in the band. And it's not like a one trick pony, and it's not not too much of a challenge show per se, but just where everyone is good and everyone's locked in with each other. And regardless of like on any type of scale, like that is impressive, like to see in any band.
Yeah, definitely always look at the drummer first. Just being one, I'm always just hawkeyeing, just checking them out to see like what they're about.
Checking them.
Guitar players, I'm a big fan of guitar players like individually, outside of the band that they're in, whatnot. How tight their sets are, like how hot they're playing, like. Their transitions are good, and just keeping everybody just
entertained.
keeping them entertained and making sure they're always being watched. because people want to watch them.
I know, it's like the most important is this, like looking at your audience and being like, are they still with me? Like, what do I have to do to bring them back? And I know, like what you said, how you look at the drummer, because you are a drummer. I know when I've seen David and when I look at some of your videos and like even just like hearing your music, I automatically, since I am a vocalist, I go to David, who couldn't be here today. He's an amazing vocalist. Hearing him, I have learned so much about his technique and how I can get that rasp and that growl and it. Yeah. I definitely relate to that. Anything that people should know about who Arbor Creek is, in a sentence, about your band, about who you guys are.
Yeah, you can find us on all social medias: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
Spotify.
We're on Spotify.
iTunes.
There's YouTube videos, iTunes.
Google Play.
Anything that you got, anything that you need, we got it.
Anything
You know what I'm saying?
you got it.
Yeah, he pretty much said what I was thinking. So
Again, that 6 cents. 6 cents. You guys are wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing where Arbor Creek. Yeah, looking forward to seeing Arbor Creek in your future endeavors. You guys are phenomenal. Again, one of my biggest inspirations. I mean, I play y'all all the time with my band, being like, this is what we should do. So, everyone, if you haven't checked them out, check their music. Go get on that.